All right, welcome back to the deep dive. You know the drill. We take a huge pile of info, something really fascinating, and basically boil it down for you. Concentrated knowledge, no overload.
And today, yeah, we're tackling a career that's, well, pretty unique in TV. We're going to get into the cab, metaphorically speaking, and take a deep dive into the dual life of Benjamin Ray Bailey.
Ben Bailey. Yeah, when you picture a New York City taxi, the yellow cab, it's usually anonymous, right? Just part of the background. A space where people kind of share random bits of their lives. Maybe they're late, stressed out, whatever. But for some folks, if they happen to flag down his cab, well, that anonymity just vanished.
Poof, gone. Suddenly there are cameras, flashing lights, trivia questions.
That speaks.
Right in the back.
Exactly. So our sources today, they really help map out this incredible path he took. Our mission really is to understand how a guy who was, and this is key, a licensed, actual New York City taxi driver
managed to become a 3-time Emmy-winning game show host, a touring stand-up comic, and even pop up in serious acting roles. It's about figuring out that range, and how he made it last.
Okay, so let's lay out the basics first. Ben Bailey, born 1970. He's an American comedian, actor, and, most famously, the host and executive producer of Cash Cab, the U.S. version.
Been active since 93, roughly.
Yeah, 93. And he's constantly juggling things. He's a proper touring stand-up headliner, which, that's a demanding job on its own.
Oh, absolutely. Grueling.
And at the same time, he's hosting this massive TV hit, Cash Cab, which ran for, 14 seasons over a long stretch.
It's that combination that's just fascinating. Think about stand-up comedy. What do you need? You need, razor-sharp observation skills and timing, split-second timing. So where do you practice that in the real world?
Driving a cab in New York City.
Exactly. High pressure, hundreds of different people every week. It's like a lab. He took that raw experience, the hustle, the quick wit you need just to deal with passengers, the weird intimacy of being in a cab.
Right.
And he fused it into this completely new, really authentic TV format, and it worked big time. So we got to trace how he got there, starting way before the cab.
Okay, let's unpack that journey. Because his early life, where he grew up and started out, it's kind of all over the map, geographically speaking.
It is, yeah. So Benjamin Ray Bailey, born October 30, 1970, but not on the East Coast, down south, Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Kentucky. Okay, didn't expect that.
Nope. But he didn't stay long. He was raised up north in Chatham-Borough, New Jersey.
New Jersey. That makes more sense maybe for the observational comedy style later, that whole NYNJ vibe.
Definitely. It gives you material, right? He graduated from Chatham-Borough High School in '88, and here's a little fun fact. He was in the borough's last graduating class before they reorganized the schools. After high school, he went south again, briefly, attended Old Dominion University down in Norfolk, Virginia.
Virginia, okay.
But the big move, the one that kind of kicked off his entertainment career officially, was in 1993. He heads west, Los Angeles.
The classic go west story for performers.
Pretty much. That's the year our sources point to as the start of his active career.
And this is where that almost legendary stand-up origin story comes in, right? It wasn't like he was grinding at open mics for months.
Not exactly, no. The story goes he was just hanging out after hours at the Comedy Store in L.A.
Which is like hallowed ground for comedians.
Totally. A real institution. And he wasn't even there to perform, apparently.
Shooting the breeze.
Yeah, basically just telling stories, probably about his day, observations, whatever, to the other comics who were done with their sets, just relaxing.
Okay.
But his way of telling these stories, his natural timing, the humor he found in everyday stuff, it caught the ear of Skippy Lowe.
Skippy Lowe, the MSC there. A pretty well-known figure.
A very notable figure, yeah. And Lowe heard him just talking, telling these anecdotes, and basically thought, this guy's naturally funny. He's got stage presence without even being on stage.
Wow.
So Lowe basically just offered him a spot, said, hey, you should get up there and do a proper set.
That's incredible. Zero formal audition. Just pure, raw talent being spotted in conversation.
It's a great story. It shows that his comedic voice was already there, before he even maybe thought of himself as a professional comic.
So he gets this break in L.A., but he doesn't stay.
Nope. Eventually, he heads back east to New York City. And that's where he really starts to build his reputation, starts getting popular in the comedy clubs there.
Which is a whole different beast. The New York scene is notoriously tough.
Oh, yeah. Super competitive. Fast-paced, you gotta be sharp, constantly writing, constantly evolving.
And his style, you said observational.
Yeah, our sources consistently label it observational comedy and satire. He talks about everyday stuff, marriage, poking fun at himself, life's little annoyances, pop culture, things everyone can kind of relate to.
Makes sense. That kind of humor plays really well in those dense urban environments like New York.
Totally. If you can get a New York crowd laughing about, like, the subway or dating apps, you're doing something right.
And clearly he was, because he didn't just stay a club comic, he became a headliner.
A touring headliner, yeah.
Yeah.
By 2019, he'd reached that status, playing major festivals like Just for Laughs in Montreal, which is huge,
Wow.
and even the Edinburgh Fringe Festival over in Scotland. Big international stages.
So the takeaway here is he was a legit, established professional stand-up long before Cash Cab ever hit the airwaves.
Absolutely crucial point. That TV fame didn't come out of nowhere. He had years of stage time under his belt. His first big special, Comedy Central Presents Ben Bailey, that came out in 2006.
Right around when Cash Cab was starting to take off.
Exactly. So he wasn't some TV personality trying comedy. He was a comedian who found this amazing TV gig. And he used that TV fame to boost his stand-up career, naturally.
He put out more specials after
Oh,
that.
yeah. In 2011, he released a two-parter. The titles kind of tell you his focus: Road Rage and Accidental Ornithology.
Road Rage. I can see the connection to the cab driving. Accidental ornithology.
Yeah, it suggests that thing of, like, noticing weird, specific, funny details in the middle of everyday chaos. The accidental discoveries, classic observational stuff.
Gotcha. Then there was Ben Bailey Live and Uncensored in 2016.
Right. And he's kept at it. Just this year, 2024, he put out a new special, Please Tell Me What I Said, directly onto his YouTube channel.
So using modern platforms too, adapting.
Yeah, it proves stand-up wasn't just a phase or a way to get noticed. It's like the core of what he does. It's his foundation.
And that foundation, that quick wit honed on stage, led straight into the role that, let's be honest, most people know him for.
Yeah.
The defining one.
Absolutely. Cash Tab. He is the face of the American version.
Ah.
Host, executive producer, the whole package.
Such a simple concept when you think about it, but brilliant.
Totally. A game show inside a moving taxi in New York City. He drives, he asks questions. Unsuspecting passengers try to win money before they reach their destination. Mostly aired on Discovery, some on Bravo too.
And it wasn't just a flash in the pan. That show had serious legs.
Incredible longevity, the first run, 2005 to 2012. 7 solid years. That's huge for any show, especially a cable concept like that.
And even then, it wasn't really over.
Nope. It got brought back, successfully revived from 2017 right through 2020.
And Bailey hosted the whole time, all 14 seasons of that main run.
Every single one. He was the show. Indispensable.
There was that short spin-off too, wasn't there? Cash Cab After Dark?
Yeah, briefly. Back in 2007, 13 episodes. Didn't quite stick like the main show, but it showed they were trying variations early on.
But the main show's resilient surviving network changes.
Yeah.
That long break, the shifting TV landscape, it really speaks to how strong that core idea was.
Yeah.
And his hosting.
Absolutely. Which brings us to maybe the most critical detail in this whole story, the so what that elevates it.
Great.
Ben Bailey isn't just playing a cab driver, he is a licensed New York City taxi driver. Like, for real. Has the medallion license and everything.
That is monumental, like you said. It changes everything.
Fundamentally, he's not an actor pretending. He's part of the city's actual infrastructure.
Yeah.
Imagine the authenticity that gives the show.
Yeah, for the viewers, but also for the contestants. They get in a real cab, driven by a real cabbie
Okay.
who suddenly turns into a game show host.
Exactly. And think about the skills involved. He's genuinely navigating New York traffic, which is insane.
Oh, yeah.
While simultaneously running a game show, managing the clock, the questions, the contestants' reactions. That real-world competence, the driving skill, combined with the comedic timing, you can't fake that. It made the whole thing feel so immediate, visceral.
It grounds it completely. He's not just reading questions in the studio. He's doing 2 high-pressure jobs at once.
And that authenticity, that unique blend of skills and format, it turned Cash Cab into an awards magnet, especially at the Daytime Emmys.
They were nominated a lot, weren't they?
A ridiculous amount. Bailey himself, for Outstanding Game Show Host, nominated 7 times. consecutively.
7 years in a row. Wow.
Every single year from 2007 through 2013. Think about the legends in that category. He was consistently right there with them year after year.
That's incredible dominance for such an unconventional show.
And he didn't just get nominated, he won 3 times. He took home the Emmy for Outstanding Game Show Host in 2010, 2011, and again in 2013.
3 Emmys for hosting. That's serious validation from the industry. They clearly recognize that his style, that fast, grounded, in-the-moment style, was something special.
Totally different from, say, the polished studio hosts. He wasn't behind a podium. He was right there, inches away, driving the car, sharing the space. It was intimate, spontaneous, kind of chaotic sometimes. And the show itself got major love, too. Cash Cab won the Emmy for Best Game Show 3 years running 2008, 2009, 2010.
3 Best Game Show Emmys.
Yep. And in 2010, it also won Most Outstanding Game Audience Participation Show.
Okay, so putting it all together, this wasn't just some quirky hit or a gimmick that went viral.
Not at all. The Emmys prove it. Consistent recognition year after year for both the host and the show's format. It was acknowledged as quality television, a genuinely well-executed concept with a uniquely skilled host.
It cemented his place, really. A top-tier game show host, but one who operated completely outside the usual studio system.
Which then begs the question, right? Once you've reached that peak, won those awards in such a specific niche, how do you translate that success elsewhere? Can you break out of the cab?
Exactly. That's the logical next step. You've got 3 Emmys, you're a household name.
Yeah.
Surely other doors open up. And they did for Bailey. He definitely branched out, tried other hosting gigs.
Yeah, he landed a big one, actually. Hosted a show on NBC called Who's Still Standing. This was around 2011, 2012.
Oh, I remember that one. Lit a trap doors.
That's the one. High concept, answer trivia, get it wrong, boom, you drop through the floor.
Visually dramatic, for sure. But it didn't last long, did it?
No, it didn't. And this is really interesting for anyone listening thinking about the TV business. Despite having Bailey, an Emmy-winning host, despite being on a major network like NBC, the show got canceled after just 1 season. It wasn't renewed, and the reason cited in our sources, production costs. It was just too expensive to make.
Ah, those elaborate sets, the mechanics for the trap doors, safety, all adds up.
Astronomically expensive compared to sticking some cameras in a taxi you already have access to. It was a harsh lesson, really. Even a proven host and a flashy concept can't survive if the numbers don't work for the network. Your Emmy doesn't automatically guarantee a show's survival if the budget's out of whack.
Good point. So besides hosting, he used his voice too, right? Narration.
He did. He narrated a Discovery Channel show called Smash Lab. You know, blowing things up, testing engineering limits, kind of fits the Discovery brand he was already associated with.
Makes sense.
And he did some stuff for early online platforms too, like Shovio.com's Talkback TV, exploring different avenues.
But the acting roles.
Yeah.
That's where you really see the range, I think. It's kind of surprising how diverse they are.
It really is. He pops up in some serious dramas. Like way back in 2003, before Cash Cab Mania, he was on Law & Order, Special Victims Unit.
SVU. What role?
Get this. Transit Sergeant Ambrose.
A transit cop. So even back then, connected to New York City transportation, that's uncanny.
Isn't it? Sort of foreshadowing his whole public image. And he returned to that procedural world later. He was on Blue Bloods in 2021 as a character named Emmett Fells.
Okay.
And Unforgettable in 2016, playing Lorenzo Brelli. These are often quick, sharp roles, playing believable, professional New Yorker types.
But then he flips to comedy, too.
Totally. He was on Hope and Faith back in 2004, The Knights of Prosperity in 2007.
Yeah.
And then the ultimate sign you've made it in pop culture, playing yourself. He appeared as Ben Bailey, driving the cash cab on 30 Rock in 2010.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's when you know the persona is iconic.
Absolutely. And maybe the most unexpected acting credit, a recurring role on a soap opera.
A soap opera? Which one?
One Life to Live. He played a character named Haskell for 4 episodes back in 2005.
Wow. From stand-up to cab driving to One Life to Live, that's flexible.
Talk about range, right. He also did some film work, appeared in a movie called Bad Parents in 2012.
Okay.
And here's a fun bit of trivia. He actually filmed a scene for the 2012 Spider-Man movie.
No way.
Yeah, but it got cut from the final film. Happens all the time, but still cool. He also popped up, uncredited, but as himself, in the Vince Vaughn movie Delivery Man in 2013.
So the cash cab identity just kept following him, even into scripted stuff.
It became a shorthand, definitely. Like in 2019, he did a proper cameo, again as himself, driving the cab, in that show Perpetual Grace, Ltd.
So other shows were literally writing the cash cab into their scripts.
Yeah, it shows how enduring that brand became. He also leaned into the smart guy trivia aspect, appearing on Brain Games a couple of times.
Makes sense.
And even Deadliest Catch the Bait in 2016. His persona was just recognizable and fit different contexts.
Plus the commercials, right? That's always a sign of mainstream appeal.
For sure. He did ads for DTE Energy, the utility company, and also for ALDI supermarkets, reaching a broad audience.
And hitting the talk show circuit hard during the peak years.
Oh, yeah. All the big ones. The Tonight Show, Today Show, Oprah, Rachel Ray. He was everywhere for a while. Cemented that transition from club comic to national TV star.
It really takes a specific kind of personality, doesn't it? To be believable, doing stand-up, driving a cab, hosting a game show, and showing up convincingly in Law & Order.
Yeah, that grounded, quick-witted, but somehow still relatable New Yorker thing. It clearly resonated across a lot of different formats. He built a lot of trust with the audience.
So even with all that TD work, the hosting, the acting, he never really stopped doing stand-up, did he? It seems like that was always the constant thread.
Absolutely not. It was clearly fundamental to him. We mentioned the 2006 special, the 2011 two-parter, Road Rage and Accidental Ornithology. Those titles really capture that observational core, right? Road Rage, obviously tapping into the stress of driving, something he knew intimately.
Oh, actually, yeah.
And Accidental Ornithology. That sounds like finding the weird, funny little details you notice when you're stuck in traffic or just observing life. That's his sweet spot.
Then came Ben Bailey, live and uncensored in 2016, probably letting him talk more about his life after becoming famous.
Likely, yeah. Addressing the elephant in the room, or rather, the cab. But what's really impressive recently is how he adapted when things got weird for everyone.
You mean during the COVID lockdowns?
Exactly. Live comedy shut down. TV production ground to a halt. What does Bailey do?
What did he do?
He creates this completely new show, streams it directly to YouTube called Work From Home.
Okay. Like a lot of people were doing Zoom shows, right?
Yeah, but this sounded pretty DIY. The sources say he filmed it literally in his basement.
In his basement. Wow.
Totally grassroots. And get this, his girlfriend acted as co-host and producer, just the two of them, making a show from home.
That's fantastic. Talk about resourcefulness.
It really is. It shows you the core appeal was him, his personality, his humor. It didn't need the fancy set or the network budget, especially not during a crisis. He just found a way to connect. Great lesson for anyone listening about adaptability.
Definitely. And his recent work also shows that the cash cab idea itself still has life, even outside Manhattan.
Right. He did that spin-off concept, Money Grab in the Cab. This was 2022, 2023.
Money grab in the cab. Okay. Similar premise.
Very similar, but with a specific twist. Instead of random city dwellers, he was driving around picking up farmers.
Farmers. Okay, that's different.
Yeah, and the goal was specifically charitable. The farmers had 10 minutes to answer trivia questions, just like Cash Cab. But the money they won went to their local FFA chapter, Future Farmers of America.
Ah, so taking the format and applying it to a different community for a good cause.
Exactly. It cleverly leveraged his famous persona and the game show mechanics, but gave it a whole new context and purpose. It showed the core idea Ben Bailey asking trivia in a moving vehicle works anywhere, not just NYC.
Smart way to keep the brand relevant, but fresh.
Yeah, shifted the focus from the city to the charity. And finally, a recent marker of his status, had appearance in that 2023 documentary, The Game Show Show.
Oh, yeah. He was featured in that.
He was. Being included in a historical look back at the whole genre, alongside the icons, that basically cements your place. It's official recognition of his impact as a unique Emmy-winning host who really did change the game. Literally took it out of the studio.
Okay, so we've covered the career highs, the awards, the different roles. To get the full picture, maybe touch briefly on his personal life, just for context.
Sure, it helps round things out. He definitely seems connected to his roots. Still lives in New Jersey, Morristown.
Right, where he grew up. Partially.
Yeah. And interestingly, he met his ex-wife, Lawrence, right there in Morristown back in the 90s. In a pub, the story goes.
So a local connection.
Mm-hmm. They got married in 1997. Now think about that timing. That's right when he's seriously grinding it out in the New York comedy clubs.
Yeah, trying to make a name for himself.
And then their marriage spanned that whole initial intense 7-year run of Cash Cab.
Wow. That must have been a wild ride for both of them.
You'd imagine so. They divorced in 2012. and they have 2 children together.
2012. That date stands out. That's right when the first cash cab run ended.
Exactly. And it's also when Who's Still Standing got canceled.
So a period of major professional upheaval coinciding with the end of his marriage. It doesn't explicitly say one caused the other, but...
No, but it paints a picture, doesn't it? It hints at the immense pressure involved in juggling a top-tier TV career, a stand-up career that requires travel, and a personal life. It's a reminder of the human side behind the Emmys and the laughs.
Yeah, good point. Okay, so let's try and synthesize all this. What are the big takeaways from Ben Bailey's career?
I think the main thing, the absolute core, is how he leveraged authenticity. He wasn't just a comedian who got lucky with a hosting gig.
Right, he was the real deal, a licensed cabbie.
That real-world experience, that specific, unique perspective of driving a cab in New York City, that wasn't just a gimmick, it was the engine of his television success. It infused Cash Cab with a reality that you just couldn't replicate in a studio.
And his skill was blending those two worlds, right?
Yeah.
The comedy and the cab driving.
Exactly. The synthesis, taking the timing, the wit, the crowd work from stand-up, and applying it to the high-stress, unpredictable environment of a game show happening in moving traffic. That fusion, that's what the Emmys recognize. That's why he dominated that category for so long against more traditional hosts.
So it's a lesson in finding your unique intersection. He found where comedy met commercial driving and just owned that space.
Absolutely. He carved out a niche nobody else could really occupy because nobody else was a touring comic and a licensed NYC cabbie. And he managed to sustain it, keep the stand-up going, adapt with things like the YouTube show that shows incredible drive.
That authenticity tied to a specific place like New York just proved incredibly valuable.
So yeah, that pretty much wraps up our deep dive on Ben Bailey.
Yeah.
It's quite a story when you lay it all out.
It really is. Let's just quickly hit those standout facts again for everyone listening. Remember, his comedy career basically started because Skippy Lowe overheard him telling stories after hours at the Comedy Store.
Just amazing. And that foundational fact, he wasn't playing a cab driver. He was one, licensed and everything. That changes the whole dynamic of Cash Cab.
And the sheer range, going from Law and Order dramas to a soap opera, One Life to Live, hosting high-stakes game shows, and all the while still releasing stand-up specials, that's serious versatility.
Yeah, truly rare. We saw how he basically figured out that a taxicab, this everyday space, is actually a goldmine for spontaneous human interaction, weird facts, funny moments.
Right.
And turned that insight into a TV franchise that ran for years and won multiple Emmys. He literally changed the setting for game shows.
So here's something to chew on as we wrap up. Bailey's success came from finding the hidden expertise and entertainment value in a job most people see as just ordinary. Driving a cab. Think about other everyday jobs. You know, the barista who hears snippets of 1,000 conversations, the librarian who knows the weirdest research request, the postal carrier who sees the rhythm of a neighborhood up close.
Yeah, places where people are constantly encountering unexpected information or insights just by doing their job.
So what other mundane setting could be hiding the next great game show? Or the next deep dive format? Where else is that hidden knowledge accumulating, just waiting for someone with the right perspective to tap into it?
What's the next mobile deep dive, driven by someone's unique, everyday expertise that's happening right under our noses? Good question to ponder.
Definitely something to think about. Until next time, keep digging.
We'll see you on the next deep dive.